If you watched Made in Bangladesh, you should understand that the whole debate about sweatshops is almost irrelevant as long as child labor is not eliminated. Based on the UNICEF definition, child labor is work that deprives children of their childhood, their potential and their dignity, and that is harmful to physical and the mental development. While poverty, restricted access to education, and the lack of or poor enforcement of child labor laws are the most important causes of child labor, market demand for cheap products is also driving the demand for child workers. The International Labour Organization estimates that around 280 million children, some as young as 5 years, are in the labor force around the world. Unsafe child labor practices are defined for different age groups. Specifically, no child under 12 years should work, period. Children between 12 and 14 years should not work more than 14 hours per week, and children between 15 and 17 should not work more than 43 hours per week. However, 73 million children have to work a lot more under hazardous working conditions. They work in mines, chemical plants, or in the agriculture sector where they have to operate dangerous machinery and are exposed to pesticides and other harmful chemicals. In its most extreme form, very young children are separated from their families, enslaved and exposed to hazardous working conditions. While over 140 countries have ratified the International Labour Organization Convention 182 prohibiting all child labor, it still exists today. You may want to be willfully ignorant, but many products you buy in Canada are produced by children. I already briefly talked about consumers' attitude towards child labor in my video on marketing and sustainability. Most consumers don't know and do not actively seek information about whether the goods they buy were produced by child labor. This is substantiated by a 2015 survey conducted by Ipsos Reid, a marketing research company that found that 82% of over 1,000 Canadians surveyed had no idea if what they are buying was made by children. However, this study also found that 60% of them would not buy products made by children if they only knew. So take a minute and think what products you have recently purchased that may have been made using child labor or forced labor. Now, if you wonder what you can do to avoid buying products that have been produced by children, I can give you a few tips. Well, before you buy anything, you should think whether you actually need it. This not only prevents you from supporting child labor, but it will also reduce waste and save you money. If you do need it, think whether you can repair the old product instead of replacing it. Depending on the product, you might also be able to buy it used through Kijiji, which again is better for the environment and usually a lot cheaper than buying new. If you have to replace it with a new product, try to buy local first. Supporting local businesses also helps to lower your carbon footprint, since transportation of products emit a lot of greenhouse gases. If that is not an option and you have to buy a new product made in a developing country, look for legitimate certifications for that specific industry. As you know, Organizations try to greenwash their environmentally unfriendly products to look more sustainable. At the same time, organizations don't want customers to know that they use child labor and may make up imaginary friends who certify their products. So double check who certified it, and if there is no information available, don't be willfully ignorant. Do your research and don't blindly trust what organizations say. Look online what efforts the company has made to ensure that products are not connected to child labor. Does the company have a code of conduct or policies in place to stop child labor practices? If so, how do they monitor it? And what steps are taken if suppliers violate these policies? Does the company publicly report the efforts to prevent or address child labor in the supply chain? While it is important that consumers do their part, who do you think is ultimately responsible to stop child labor? Is it multinational corporations, developed countries, developing countries, private suppliers or contractors, non-governmental organizations, parents or customers? Everybody contributes, which might be part of the problem, since change won't happen if only one or two groups decide to work on ending child labor. There are many organizations out there that truly care about all the people involved in creating their products, that look beyond their own walls and ensure that the suppliers and raw materials they use have been sourced and produced in a sustainable way by people who are paid a living wage and without the use of children. There are plenty of organizations that care about their environmental footprint and that want to be the best organizations for all their stakeholders. In fact, there are way too many to list here. So if you want to see a change in the world, buy products from organizations who actively care about all stakeholders. Alright, that is it. That was the last video for this semester. As always, please let me know if you have any questions, and I am looking forward to talking about the related cases in class. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. The end.